Summer Series Part 8.
8?
Eight. All the Everything podcast. Mr. Tim Stallhook, what is going on, my man?
Well, here's the deal. I had been sick like for a week and a half. I pretty much we recorded last week and I was kind of coughing a little bit. Then I pretty much just fell apart. Was like it was just laid up in bed or sitting on the couch or just dying from coughing and sneezing, just like no energy. So today's like my first day back where I feel like I've been resurrected. I finished my Z-Pack. I did a workout today. I don't know if I probably should have, and I got to teach a class tonight, but I felt like I just had to like body in motion, stage in motion, right? So I was like, I have to get moving. This is not me. And so that's where I'm at right now.
Good.
And hoping I'm on the upswing here, feeling good. But yeah, beyond that, there is not much too exciting going on, except let's talk about that hat, Billy. What's going on tomorrow? Tell us what we're doing.
Yeah, tomorrow, on July 8th, you will be listening to, it'll be after July 8th, so this will have already happened when you are actually listening to this. But tomorrow, physically, in the time that we're actually speaking, we're going to get to finally see Superman.
Yes!
Superman!
If you're not watching right now, you should be watching because the moves we're doing are just exaggerated and amazing.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I hope it doesn't let me down. And I'm getting even more hyped. We have the babysitter ready. I do have to go get like food for the girls and the babysitter for tomorrow.
Yeah,
I have to do that. But oh my gosh, Superman tomorrow night. I got a hot date. Yep.
I also have a date, but it's my son, so not quite a date.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're super pumped for it. It's funny. I'm seeing it at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah,
Billy's seeing it at 7. What is your Central Standard Time?
Central. Yep, 7 Central. So I'll be putting my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, that thing will be shut down.
No spoilers.
We're actually the earliest showing, so there really shouldn't be too many spoilers before us.
Because you'd be spoiling as it's going on.
Right. I'm going to spoil it for Billy live streaming it right to his phone. No, but we're really pumped for it. We can't wait. And I got to give Billy the thank you. I don't think I publicly said thank you because it was your tip who got me to go to Prime and do the tickets.
Oh, yeah.
You posted. I don't know if I've even told you that yet. I saw that and I was like, man, what is that? So
what is going on?
Hooked it up and I was like, dang. When I went in, by the way, it asked me if I wanted to purchase up to 20 tickets. Did you have that situation?
Oh, wow. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't need. I just got the 2, and the one was questionable, with Michelle, So I just went ahead and went for it. Yeah. So
I wanted just to buy all 20 seats so nobody else come. No, I only bought 2, but I think on accident, Billy, I think I bought the seats that you're going to be in, like the rocking seats.
Oh, nice. So, you don't like those?
I've never tried them. To be honest, I always think, oh, the other ones are cheaper. Let's get those, whatever. Yeah, they still recline and all that fun stuff. So I'm excited. I haven't told Luke.
You're doing like a D-box, like where it goes with the action, like you're actually flying.
Yes.
Huh? Oh yeah, those are the only ones we have at our theater that are assigned seats, and so I do those usually on big movie premieres. Like I would have done that for this movie, but we decided since this is such a big movie, we're going to drive an hour away to Birmingham to go see it at the big fancy theater where I order the food. They'll bring. There's a little table, and they'll bring my food to me in my seat, like a restaurant. Because we're not going to have time because we have a babysitter. We won't have time to do dinner and a movie, so we need to have dinner at the movies. So.
Love that.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I can get Luke to bring me food so I feel like I'm as awesome as you. And I'm also going to wear my Santa beard tomorrow. I'm going to dye it brown so I look like Billy. So I'm going to have a big old beard that I wore during Christmas last year.
Love it.
No, but we're pumped for that. Yeah.
Gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow, and we'll let y'all know for sure how we felt about it. So,
oh, absolutely. I mean, I love Superman, but Billy loves Superman. Like he's seen them all, every show, every backstory, every cartoon.
My daughter is named after Smallville, so if that tells you anything. So Chloe, that's where her name came from.
Hey, That's good. I just wanted to ask you real quick. This is all about Superman, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going through, I think it was HBO Max, and they have like 50 billion cartoons about Superman on there. Did you see the one where it's like the alternate where Superman landed in Russia instead of like Kansas?
Oh, the Red Sun, I have not seen that one, but I saw like where it's on there, and so that's one I do need to watch. Have you seen it?
I started watching it, and then I turned it off for whatever reason. But I was like, I have never heard this before.
Yeah,
that like it's an alternate like Superman.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I watched All-Star Superman, which I think the movie's kind of loosely based off of. So we'll see. We'll see. I haven't seen anything in the previews that kind of stood out, but so I'm
All-Star Superman. What's that?
Yeah, that's the one where he gets exposed to the sun, like, and this bomb that goes off, like he's in the sun, and it just super radiates him, and so he becomes like super, super, super strong. But it also kills him, like his cells.
Oh.
And so he has a little bit of time, and there's a storyline where he's able to recreate his superpowers, and Lois gets them for a day, and all these different things. It's kind of like multiple stories. It's a comic book series that they put into like one big movie graphic novel kind of thing. But
sounds like a multiverse of Superman. It sounds like, or super people or whatever. So
it was a really popular one. So I watched the showing of that, the cartoon that they made of it and stuff.
Okay,
that was cool. Just trying to get my mind right.
Get your mind right.
Yeah,
get ready
tomorrow. Yep.
Superman's amazing, but so is this episode we have coming up today, and I can't wait to get into it, Billy. So should we just hit him with it?
Let's do it.
Well, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Are you ready, my friend?
You better believe it. Let's get into all the everything, y'all.
All the everything, we've got it all. We've got it all, small, big or tall. So grab your snacks, sit back, don't stress. Cause Tim and Billy talk about the randomness. Information prone to UFOs will take you where the weirdness goes. It's two guys talking way too loud about stuff that makes no sense, but we're kinda proud.
Well, welcome back to another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Tim Sawhook, and I'm joined by my man with the S on his head and the S in his heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Super Billy Parchment, everybody.
What's going on? What's going
on?
Woo,
woo. Oh, everything. We're pumped. It's going to be a great episode. When we came up with this title, we were both kind of laughing at it. And I was texting Billy. I was like, we have to do, because we planned on doing what, 2 stories originally?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, Billy, please let us do 3. Because we're trying to keep them shorter, because the stories I had really made me laugh because they were so awful. And then I know Billy's got some great ones too. So without further delay, Billy, tell them what we're talking about today, sir.
Well, with this summer series, today we're taking it to those summer jobs, but not just any regular summer job. Not that lifeguarding, easy get a tan kind of job.
Yeah.
These are the summer jobs from hell.
Ooh, H-E-double-L. Hockey stickies. I sound really stupid. Hockey stickies.
Hockey stickies? What is that?
I don't know. I'm loopy on cough medicine. So.
Oh, yeah. The girl's going to be like, ooh, there's a bad word. It's like, hell's a place.
Hell's a place. It's not our destination, but it's a place.
Oh, my gosh.
Mel, do you want to kick us off with your first job from hell?
Let's do it. All right. Let's dive right in. Okay.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
All right. Here we go. So I got hired by this local guy who ran a small junk removal and resale business. He mostly dealt with estate cleanouts, the kind where someone dies and the family either doesn't want to deal with the house or there's no next of kin, and it just sits there until someone like us comes in and hauls everything out. I needed a job. I figured it'd be some heavy lifting and maybe some weird antiques. I'll make a little cash. I didn't realize I'd spend my whole summer literally hauling out last remains of people's lives in 100-degree heat without gloves half the time. The first job I went on was an abandoned storage unit. The guy had died in prison and no one claimed his stuff. I walk in It smelled like mildew, cigarettes, and something vaguely died inside. Ugh.
Okay. Oh, that's nasty.
Nasty. And this wasn't like Pawn Stars or Storage Wars. There were no secret Rolexes under a pile of magazines. There were rat nests, old porn VHS tapes, water-damaged furniture, used medical equipment, and a freezer that had been unplugged with stuff still in it.
Oh, no.
Do you know what an unplugged freezer smells like in July? Because I do. Most of the work was like that. Hot metal units full of garbage that had once meant something to someone. We'd find old family photos with mold on them, half-written letters, expired food, boxes of clothes that had been pissed on by feral cats.
Oh, my God.
And every time the boss would say, check for valuables before you toss anything. So you're waist deep in someone's soggy life, flipping through underwear drawers, hoping you didn't get bit by a spider or stabbed by a sewing needle. One time we opened a box labeled kitchen and found a whole jar of teeth. Like human teeth, not dentures, loose teeth. Nobody had an explanation for that one. I worked 6 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day, no benefits, no AC. I was sunburned, bruised, and consistently nauseous from the smells. One day, I cut my hand on a rusted license plate and had to go to urgent care. My boss made me clock out.
No.
Yeah. The final straw was a clean out of this old trailer where a hoarder had died. No electricity, no plumbing, just piles of garbage. I was crawling over broken furniture and bags of old meat wrappers.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I stepped into what I thought was a pile of newspapers, but it gave way and my leg sank knee deep into old cat litter. I couldn't get the smell out of my shoes for weeks.
Oh my God.
Ugh. That night, I just quit by text. I didn't even go pick up my last paycheck. I didn't want the money. I just wanted to forget. So yeah, that was my summer job from hell. I didn't get a tan. I didn't find treasure. I didn't discover myself. I just learned that some things you carry home with you are invisible and they never leave your nose. Ugh.
Oh, Billy, that is nasty.
Nasty. That's nasty. That's real nasty.
Oh my God. Like the way the story is told, like I could smell like the cat litter and the rat's nests and no. My God.
It's so gross. So gross.
Oh, that is gross. Well, I'm going to tell you, everyone who's listening, it doesn't get much better from here. All right.
Yep.
Here is my first story. That was a great one, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So let me take you back to the worst summer job Nate ever had. It was just after his first year of college. He was broke, not skip a meal broke, more like searching couch cushions for gas money broke. So when he saw a job listing online for a warehouse assistant at a local meat distribution center, he clicked apply now without hesitation. The ad promised light inventory work, flexible hours, and competitive pay. It sounded manageable. Nate figured he'd be stacking boxes, maybe loading pallets with shrink wrap hot dogs, nothing crazy. But when he showed up on his first day, the woman at the front desk gave him a paper badge, handed him a pair of industrial gloves, and said, "Tony's waiting for you in the locker." Nate blinked. "Locker?" "Meat locker," she said. "You get used to the smell." That should have been the first red flag. Welcome to the deep freeze. The meat locker wasn't a room. It was a world. A giant sub-zero metal box with no windows, no clocks, and one rule. Don't touch anything unless Tony tells you to. It was 38 degrees inside on a good day. Most days it hovered closer to freezing. His breath came out in little clouds. The floor was covered in rubber mats slick with blood, melted ice, mystery sludge. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead like angry hornets. His job, sorting frozen meat parts into the right bins. Cow tongues, beef kidneys, pig ears, you name it, he sorted it.
Yep.
That's nasty. He'd take a 40-pound block of meat from an incoming pile, match the barcode to the clipboard, and toss it into the correct stack. Simple in theory, horrifying in practice. So let's meet Tony. Tony was a supervisor. If you can imagine a cross between Joe Dirt and a haunted raccoon, you're close. He wore cut-off jean shorts, a tank top with a meatball stain of the size of a grapefruit, and bizarrely flip-flops in a freezer. He also smoked menthols inside the meat locker all day long. He said, "Keeps the smell of death out of my nose," he told Nate mid-drag. Tony had the morning ritual. He'd slap the side of the industrial freezer with a bloody glove and yell, "All right, pigs and pinheads, let's make some meat magic." Then he'd cackle and drive off forklift and lazy zigzags and stacks, singing Creed songs off key. This is
with arms wide open.
His flip flops are flapping on the tractor.
Yep. Oh.
Every shift started with the what he called a pep talk, which usually included lines like this: "Try not to pass out this time. Hey, if you drop a kidney, don't worry. 5-second rule." And Nate's favorite: "Whatever you do, don't bleed on the product. We've already been written up twice."
Ooh.
So here was the incident. Week 2. It was a Wednesday, the kind of day where your soul's already begging for the weekend. Nate had finally figured out how to breathe through his mouth, ignore the stench of warm fat and old blood. He was wearing 3 layers, double gloves, and still couldn't feel his fingers. Tony was zipping around the locker on the forklift as usual. Nate had just lifted a box labeled beef knuckles. Yes. Yeah.
Beef knuckles.
Yeah,
Yum.
That's a thing. When it happened, this is what happened. He stepped back, hit a wet spot, and his foot slid. His knee bent the wrong way. He twisted, then crack, he hit the ground hard. Pain exploded in his shoulder, white hot, blinding. He couldn't even move his arm, couldn't even scream properly. Just this raspy wheeze that echoed against the metal walls. Oh. He lay there, face inches from a leaking bag of kidneys. The smell nearly making him vomit. Every breath felt like fire. He was done.
Yeah.
"Tony," he called out. Tony drove by slowly on a forklift, cigarette dangling from his lips, and said, "Just walk it off, bro." Then he honked the horn twice and went back to singing with arms wide open. Cue Billy.
There you go. With arms wide open. Under. Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything.
Oh man, you are a Creed fan. I picture this dude named Tony. It sounds like crazy. So that was the last straw. Nate didn't officially quit. He didn't talk to HR. He didn't even file a report. He just ghosted. He crawled out of the locker that day, literally dragging himself across the slick floor with one arm, like he was escaping from a horror movie set in a butcher shop.
Right. I'm just thinking of what's that one movie?
Saw.
Saw. Yes, that's what I'm picturing in my head.
Same. So here's what he left behind: one work glove, his ID badge still hanging crooked on the pegboard, and one boot. No one knows why or how. It was just one. He got an Uber with his good arm, told the driver, "Just go," and never looked back. The aftermath: he spent 6 weeks in a sling. When his mom asked what happened, he just said, "Warehouse job went bad." She never asked for details. Occasionally, he'll pass by the building, still there, still cold, still humming with that strange industrial buzz. And sometimes when he closes his eyes, he swears he can hear Tony laughing, the low hum of a forklift horn in the distance. Moral of the story, he says, if a job listing says light inventory, ask for specifics, especially if it involves meat, cold storage, or a man named Tony, and never trust a guy in flip-flops driving heavy machinery.
That's the truth. Goodness gracious.
Oh my God. I was dying when I heard this the first time. Like, I just, knowing this is a real story, that's what made me laugh. Like, this is a true story. Tony, the beef knuckles. Could you imagine handling that nastiness?
Beef knuckles. Well,
is that our new shirt?
Beef just says beef knuckles. I like it.
Beef knuckles. It says beef knuckles. I like it. Or are you just saying I like it?
No, just beef. I like the fact. Yeah, just beef knuckles. That's it.
Beef knuckles. Everything. Hold everything podcast.
Yeah. I feel like that's one of those shirts when you show up to Disney World. They're like, "Excuse me, sir, do you have another shirt you could wear?"
Yeah, you can't wear beef knuckles in here, sir. Oh man.
Oh man.
If I had a girlfriend, she'd kill me. All right. So you are up for your next story. I can't wait for it.
This next story is called The Cleanup Shift. Just to give you a trigger warning, it does involve hospital stays, and it gets kind of graphic. And so if you are dealing with something like that, or if that's something that might, trigger you, hey, fast forward 10 minutes until you see Tim talking again, and then we'll go from there. My worst summer job wasn't something I tell people much, mostly because it doesn't make for light conversation, but it's the one that stuck with me the most. The summer after my sophomore year of college, I took a job at a hospital, not a nursing job, not working with patients. I was on the environmental service team, which is a polite way to say hospital janitor. I was working the overnight shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. My job was to clean the rooms after patients left. Sometimes that just meant stripping the bed, wiping things down, mopping the floors. Other times, it was a lot more. I remember my first trauma cleanup. That's what they called it, trauma. It sounds clinical, but it's not. The patient did not make it, and it had been messy. Blood on the walls, the floors, even the ceiling tiles from when they were doing compressions. I remember standing there with a bottle of industrial cleaner in one hand and a mop in the other, trying not to stare too hard at the colors or the stains. It didn't even look like blood that you see in the movies. It was darker, thicker, almost black in some spots. Nobody warned me. No supervisor, no nurse, just an empty room, a closed door, and a work order taped to the handle. It only got worse from there. Psych room cleanings were bad. People in mental health crisis didn't go easy on the furniture or themselves. One night, a man punched through a window and there was blood all over the bathroom floor, the sink, even the mirror. He was already gone by the time I got there, but there was this long smear down the hallway wall where he had leaned up against it while the staff tried to walk him back to the gurney. But that wasn't the worst room I ever walked in. There was this one where the patient had passed hours earlier, not during some dramatic emergency, just quietly, alone. They had left a half-eaten sandwich on the tray. The TV was still on, slippers by the bed. No family had come. The body was gone, but the absence felt thick, like the room itself knew. I stood there for a full minute just staring at the bed, not sure why it hit me so hard. I think it was the stillness. It felt like someone had been waiting for something that never came. The thing about that job was it never felt like just cleaning. It felt like I was erasing something, making the room look like nothing had happened. And it was strange, surreal, even how fast they would turn the room over. One person dies, and 6 hours later, there's a new patient in that bed watching TV like nothing had happened at all. I did that job for 9 weeks. I stopped talking during my shifts. I stopped listening to music on the way home. I slept during the day, and I avoided my friends. It was like the job existed in this completely different world, one I couldn't bring home with me. The hospital cut the overnight crew in early August and said they didn't need me anymore. I did not feel bad. I felt relieved. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't even dramatic, but it changed something in me. I think about it sometimes when I walk through hospital halls now, or even when I see the words environmental services on someone's badge. Those people know things that most of us will never know or never want to know. That was my summer job from hell. I did what I was told. I cleaned up after death, after pain, after chaos. And then I left quietly like I was never there. Ugh.
Wow.
Ugh.
Yeah, that story is not necessarily funny.
No, that is not a funny story, but it's one of those that kind of sits with you, kind of.
It does. Like, first of all, that's totally disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's got to clean it, but going in and seeing blood all over the ceiling, I guess not disgusting is the word. It's more like he said, it was a trauma thing. It was traumatizing.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't imagine. Yeah, like trying to go home after that and decompress and stuff. And it makes you think about like the times that I've been in the hospital when I was there for my concussion, then when I had my bowel thing not too long ago.
Right.
But you're in a room, in the emergency room, where it looks pretty clean and nice and sterilized, not knowing and not thinking about what had just happened there before you got in that bed.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I never thought of it like that. Like even times I visited my mom after the stroke, like she's in a bed, God knows what happened before and how they cleaned it all up. Like, how do you get blood off the ceiling tiles? Like I was picturing that. I was processing that part too.
It's crazy. And then the whole part at the end, like where he's just standing in the room after that person just kind of died quietly. That kind of reminded me of when I worked at a hotel and we had somebody pass away one night. And the room keeper found them, and then I had to call 911 because they called me on the radio saying call 911, and so I'm calling 911 and I'm like, what am I supposed to tell them? What's going on? And then I was like, I think somebody died in the room, and so like,
oh man,
all these cops and everything show up. The news shows up, and it just a guy had a heart attack. He was in the room by himself, but I remember having to go in that room like afterwards, after everything. And just feeling that presence. It was something I would never forget. I didn't like it. But
I imagine.
I mean, who would, but it just felt heavy.
Whew, that was a heavy one.
That was a heavy one. Yep.
Jeez. And I was talking to somebody, it was a while back, probably a couple years ago, to Nikki, who works on our team. And she works at a hospital. And she said something about, I was telling her that I heard recently on a podcast, I think, that hospitals are like the most haunted places in America because so much death happens there.
Right.
So much energy is there and left there and stuff. And I asked her if she'd ever experienced anything like that. And she said, not necessarily her, but it was a friend of hers who was pulling out of the parking lot. In her rearview mirror, she saw somebody at the sliding doors, like this ghostly figure, like just standing there. Yeah. And she looked back and it was gone. I think that's the story, but but it does. I mean, it does make sense when you think about it. Like, if you believe in ghosts or a presence or spirits or whatever, that that energy would remain. Like, there's so many people who pass, you know. So anyhow, I was thinking about that when you're telling that story, the last story. Whew, God bless that guy and anybody who does that job.
Yes.
All right. Let me see if I can lighten the mood a little bit.
There you go. Shake it off.
I got that little heaviness here on my shoulders. Let me get it out of here. Go and get it. All right. So some summer jobs are glamorous. Lifeguard at the beach, tour guide at a historic mansion, maybe working the counter at an ice cream shop. Well, Jason, he didn't get one of those jobs. Jason got a job cleaning portable toilets. Yep. The job starts with rubber gloves and ends with bleach in your hair. It all began with a Craigslist post. Remember good old Craigslist? It all began with a Craigslist post that promised flexible hours, good pay, and solo work. Jason thought, easy money. How bad could it be? Spoiler alert. Very, very bad.
Very bad.
Day one, a false sense of security. The first day wasn't too bad, just a training run. He got to ride shotgun in a company truck that looked like it had survived the apocalypse. Half the decals peeling off, dents in the side, smelled like sadness and Lysol. That's a great combination. His trainer was a guy named Donnie. Donnie had been with the company for 15 years and looked like he had seen some things that still haunted him. Donnie handed Jason a power washer, a jug of loose sanitizer liquid, and a pair of gloves that used to be yellow. Jason's first clean, a porta potty behind a warehouse.
Used to be.
Yeah, used to be. Oh my God. It was behind a warehouse. So it wasn't glamorous, but it was quiet, peaceful, kind of like pressure washing a tiny plastic office filled with poop. He thought, okay, this is fine. I can do this. No one messes with porta potties. Well, that was the last peaceful thought he would have for the rest of the week. Day 2, welcome to the festival. On day 2, Jason was assigned solo duty at a weekend country music festival. You could already imagine where this is going. 3 days, thousands of people, 95 degrees, no clouds, no shade, beer flowing like it was free, fried food melting in the sun. The porta potties, they were set up in a long, sad row, 20 deep, baking in the heat like plastic coffins. When Jason arrived, again, a guy in a tank top handed him a clipboard and said, "You're on Zone B. That's the closest row to the beer tent. Godspeed." He wasn't kidding. Sunday morning, the apocalypse. By Sunday morning, Jason's boots had fused with the ground. His nostrils no longer functioned. His soul was halfway to the spirit world. The porta potties had been something completely, entirely different than he had ever imagined. Some were tipped over. One had clearly exploded, and one had been on fire. On fire. A flaming portable toilet. Jason didn't even ask. He just stood there, power washer in hand, like a soldier returning from war. And that's when it happened, the incident. It was 8:12 a.m. Jason walked up to a faded blue unit at the edge of the beer tent zone. The door was slightly ajar. He knocked politely, protocol, and got no answer. So he opened it. And that's when he heard a groan. Inside was a man, mid-30s, shirtless, one boot on, one sock, passed out face down across an open toilet tank, limbs dangling, belly button pressed against the rim like he had lost a fight with gravity and poor life choices. Jason screamed. The man made some noise like, "Blah!" Jason tried his radio, but it was dead, because of course it was. No signal, no staff, no EMTs in sight. It was just him and this half-naked, unconscious swamp creature marinating in a porta potty of juice. Now let's talk about the extraction. Jason didn't know what to do. He shouted for help, nothing. So he did the only thing he could. He grabbed the man under the arms and dragged him out of the stall. It was not a clean process. The guy was slippery, covered in sweat, sanitizer, and other unspeakable things. He was leaving a trail behind him like a human snail of despair. Jason's gloves squished. His boots sloshed. At one point, the guy farted mid-drag. Jason nearly passed out. By the time he got to the grass, EMTs had arrived. 2 of them, angels in khaki shorts. They knelt beside the man, did a quick exam, and they just said, "He's stable." And then the guy just sat up. He blinked, looked around, disoriented, then vomited directly on Jason's boots. And then he screamed, "Where's my beer?" The aftermath, Jason went home that night in silence. He left the truck at the depot, threw his gloves in the dumpster, and walked 3 miles back in his apartment in his socks. He never returned to work. Didn't even call to quit. He just vanished. 2 days later, he got a text from Donnie that said, "Tough one, huh? You lasted longer than the last guy." So, to this day, Jason refuses to use porta potties. Weddings, fairs, tailgates, music festivals. If it's not a building with plumbing and tile floors, he's holding it till he gets home. Sometimes, when he walks past a construction site and catches that faint blue chemical smell on the wind, he shudders. And in his nightmares, that man is still lying across the tank whispering, "Where's my beer?" with vomit dribbling down his chin. And that was his summer job from hell.
Where's my beer at? I need my beer.
Where's my beer? Oh my gosh. I was dying when I read that. Like the description this writer had just it got me. It got me.
Oh.
So hopefully this was a little bit lighter than the other one right before this, but
hopefully you didn't throw up though. Listen.
Oh my! That's the thing for me that made me laugh last night, Billy. It was the visuals of this.
Sure.
This poor guy showing up with at a country festival. He was on solo cleanup duty. Oh my gosh!
Oh no, thank you. No, thank you.
I mean, we've all been in portalets, and unspeakable things happen inside portalets. We all know this. It's awful, and that's the last we're going to talk about it. There was one phrase by the end, by the way, and he said also, I forgot this. He said, "If you see a job listing that says solo work, flexible hours, just know that sometimes that means dragging a half-naked man out of human soup while questioning every decision that led you to this point in your life." That's our next T-shirt, human soup. Nothing else. We got beef knuckles,
human soup. What?
Oh, man.
Podcast.
Maybe we can get some endorsements in porta potties, so when people go in, these rest of them, our name is right there.
Oh man. Yeah, you know those like little urinal cakes. You know, we can just put those in with our logo on it.
Boy, man, we can really dream big, can't we, Billy?
Yeah, we
Urinal
can.
cakes, toilets. I mean,
come on,
beef knuckles.
Endless possibilities. Wow.
We are partnering with Campbell's Soup with a new flavor called Human Soup. So
Human soup.
So check that out here soon.
This Halloween.
Yeah, this Halloween coming. Human Soup.
Yep, Human Soup.
Oh my gosh. Halloween Horror Nights could probably make horror movies or houses out of these stories. Like,
yeah, they really could.
Could you imagine?
Oh, they could do it. They could do it. Man.
All right, Billy. Give us your last story, sir.
This last story is entitled "Room Temp Chicken."
Okay. Oh,
and this one involves, if you ever had a job with a terrible boss. So here we go.
Those, yeah.
The summer after high school, I got a job at a fried chicken place inside a gas station on the edge of town. It was one of those places where the chicken sat under a heat lamp next to lottery tickets and dusty candy bars.
Mm.
I didn't want to work there, but my mom said if I didn't help with the bills, we weren't going to make rent. The owner's name was Carl. He didn't run the place. He just showed up once a week to count the register, smoke a half pack in the parking lot. The day I was hired, he said, "If you're not sweating, you're not working." That was my entire training. The place was filthy. There was no cleaning schedule, no thermometer for the fry oil. The same rag got used to wipe down raw chicken trays and mop up spilled soda. Oh,
no.
Yeah. I asked if we had gloves, and Carl laughed. The fryers were from the 80s. There were roaches in the dry good room.
Oh my God.
I told Carl one morning I saw something moving in the flour bin, and he said, "It's just the weevils. They'll die when you cook them." What?
No.
It was over 100 degrees inside that little kitchen in July. No ventilation, just a dented box fan that pushed out hot air like a hairdryer on low. I'd come home every night with oil burns on my arms, salt crusted to my scalp, and grease in my eyelashes.
Oh.
And then the cooler broke. It was a walk-in fridge, and it went out sometime during the night. I showed up at 7 a.m., opened the door, and the smell hit me like a punch. The raw chicken, hundreds of pounds, was warm. I told Carl and said, "This stuff is bad. We can't use this." He looked at me dead in the eyes and said, "It'll fry out. Serve it crispy, and they won't know."
Oh.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to lose my job. My mom had just gotten a disconnect notice from the power bill. We were barely hanging on, so I fried the chicken. I fried all of it. I hated myself with every basket I dropped. That night, a woman came in with her 2 little kids. She bought a 12-piece box and smiled at me and said I was the only polite person she ever saw working here. They left. I watched them drive off. I went to the bathroom and threw up. Later that week, a man came in cursing and waving a receipt. He said he'd been puking since Saturday. He said his wife went to urgent care, and Carl told him to leave before he caused a scene. I knew it was because of the chicken. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about that woman and her kids. The next day, I walked in and I said, "I quit." Carl told me I owed him for the shirt. The shirt was a used grease-stained polo with a hole in the collar. I threw it on the counter and walked out. I didn't tell anybody why I left. I just never went back. I didn't eat fried food for 2 years. Sometimes I still think about that cooler full of warm chicken and the fact that I knew what I was doing, but I did it anyway because I couldn't afford not to. Ugh. God bless.
Oh my God. That is disgusting.
Yeah, that's just, there's some bosses out there that are just ridiculous. And that, man,
he sounds like a food version of a slumlord.
Exactly.
Like to me.
Exactly.
That is, like at first it was like funny about Carl and everything. And then when he's talking about that raw chicken, like I just literally just had a huge knot in my stomach. Like,
exactly.
Oh I couldn't imagine how many people got sick.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah. Summer jobs from hell, man.
Dude, that is awful.
Yeah.
And then when you first introduced the story and said he's working at a chicken place in a gas station, I already knew that was like a red flag. Like,
but I will say this. The best, and there's some of them out there. Now, there's some of them that are nasty like this. The best shrimp po' boy on the face of this planet is at a little gas station in Goshen, Mississippi, called Fayard's. It is my favorite. Every time I go home to the Gulf Coast, we get that shrimp po' boy. And I'm telling you, it's like legit. And so there are some really good ones out there, but there are some that don't care. Yeah. Some don't have the magic like that.
Now, have you ever linked having that to the constant diarrhea for 3 days later?
Nope.
Unrelated.
It's nope. You're good. If you go to Fayard's in Mississippi, you will be treated right.
Oh my gosh. Like I said, it started kind of funny with the craziness of it all. Like him being covered, like his eyelashes being covered in grease. Like, oh, nasty. Nasty.
Nasty.
Well, maybe we should have called this episode the nastiest jobs from summer's jobs that were the nastiest.
Oh,
all right. I have one that doesn't have anything to do with food.
Okay, good.
Borderlets. All right, so let me just leave it here. This is our final one of the episode. So this story is entitled The Daycare from the Underworld.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's just a great start. So you ever take a job that sounds good on paper, but within 5 minutes you realize you've been walked right into a living nightmare? Yeah, that was Jessica's summer job from hell. She was a college sophomore, education major, bright-eyed, idealistic, fresh off finals, and full of optimism. She wanted a job that gave her experience with kids, something light, fulfilling, maybe a sweet little preschool with finger painting and story time. What she found was the underworld, and she was about to become its unwilling tour guide. Let's start with the interview trap. The job listing sounded perfect. Small daycare, this is in quotes, small daycare center seeks summer staff member. Low child to staff ratio, supportive leadership, fun, safe environment. So she imagined soft lullabies, circle time with chubby-cheeked toddlers, gold stars on behavior charts. The woman who interviewed her was warm, friendly, even offered iced tea. Said things like, "We're all a family here, and the kiddos are our heart." Jessica was in. She said yes on the spot. Spoiler alert, that woman disappeared immediately after Jessica's first shift, vanished like a ghost, probably fled to Aruba. Day one, descent begins into the underworld.
Oh my gosh.
Jessica arrived at 7:58 a.m. The front door was already wide open. A toddler was standing barefoot on the welcome mat, pants on backwards, holding a sippy cup, screaming, "Dinosaur!" at the top of his lungs. That was her welcome. Inside, it looked like a daycare center after a tornado. Crumbs everywhere, yogurt smeared on windows, a smell hanging in the air, something between sour milk, soggy Cheerios, and something unholy. She counted 27 toddlers, 27, and only one other staff member, a teenager named Britt, who was wearing a Blink 182 shirt and earbuds in both her ears. Remember at the very beginning? Really small staff to child ratio?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Two people, 27 toddlers.
Wow.
There was one bathroom, no air conditioning, and someone had definitely thrown up on the story time rug.
Oh my
Still,
gosh.
Jessica tried to rally. She told herself it was just the first day nerves. That was before she met Kevin. This is Kevin the biter. Kevin was 3 and he was feral. He didn't speak much. He made noises like a velociraptor. He didn't play with toys. He destroyed them. He didn't socialize. He just bit. He bit tables, chairs, plastic dinosaurs, his own shoes, and yes, Jessica's arm.
Of course.
She tried to redirect. She tried timeout. She tried positive reinforcement. Kevin just licked her name tag and ran away giggling.
Wow.
At one point, he bit another kid so hard that imprint of his baby teeth stayed in the kid's thigh for 3 hours. Jessica told Britt, who shrugged and said, they bounced back. Next segment of the story, the owners were never there. The people who ran the daycare, a married couple named Ron and Tammy, you can't trust a couple named Ron and Tammy anyhow. Ron and Tammy were never actually at the daycare. Their office had a desk, a Keurig, and a sign that said "Lead with Love." How nice! But they were always running errands, in quotes, meeting with licensing, or getting supplies. Every time Jessica called them with a problem, she got a response like, "We trust your judgment. Oh, use your best instincts," or the unforgettable, "Hey, if it's not on fire, it can wait." Great leadership, right?
Mm.
One day, a kid stuck a Lego in his ear, so Jessica called Ron in a panic, and his reply, "Don't worry, he'll poop it out."
What?
Yeah, let me say that again. She called with a panic to Ron and said someone had a Lego in there, and his reply is, "He'll poop it out."
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how it works, totally.
Biology.
Biology. Like, totally makes sense. So that was the day she realized no help was coming.
Yeah.
Then the chaos escalates. By week 3, I don't know how she made it to week 3, but
wow,
by week 3, Jessica was running the show by herself. Britt had quit suddenly after a kid peed in her purse. So now Jessica, 19 years old, was responsible for 27 chaotic toddlers, one busted CD player looping Baby Shark, and a snack closet that was 80% expired applesauce. The sandbox outside, you think it'd be nice? Nope, full of cigarette butts. The toys, most were broken, sticky, or both. One had teeth marks, probably from Kevin.
Right.
The nap time mat smelled like feet and betrayal.
Oh no.
There was a 5-year-old named Samantha who kept trying to adopt stray bugs as pets. A boy named Jackson who only responded to Batman, and one terrifying child who wouldn't stop making this one got me. One terrifying child who wouldn't stop making direct eye contact while just humming "Ring Around the Rosie." Just picture this Tyler staring at you like a psychopath.
Ring around the rosies, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
Yeah, there you go. That's a horror show right there. So Jessica started having stress dreams. Like, figure. She woke up in the middle of the night yelling, "Put the goldfish crackers down." Here was the final straw. Her last day started like any other day. Chaos, screaming, and a questionable smell in the hallway. But it ended with fire. It was hot. No AC. Remember that. No AC.
Yeah.
The kids were restless. Jessica was filling water cups when she noticed something strange through the window. A group of toddlers gathered around something glowing. She rushed outside to see that one of the kids, a 4-year-old named Eli, future pyromaniac, had a magnifying glass and was using sunlight to set a napkin on fire. Yes, a napkin was on fire. The other kids stood there shouting, "Fire! Fire! Fire!" Jessica had no extinguisher, no backup, no idea where Ron or Tammy were. Classic Ron and Tammy. So she did the only thing she could. She grabbed the nearest sippy cup full of apple juice and dumped it onto the flames. Crisis averted, barely, but that was it. She walked back inside, stepped over a pile of glitter glue and graham cracker mush, looked around at the mad list, and calmly sat down her name tag. Didn't clock out, didn't wait for her last paycheck. She walked right out the door into the sunlight, free, sweaty, slightly juice-stained, but completely free. Here's the epilogue she added.
Okay.
Jessica never went back. She blocked the daycare's phone number. She warned every friend she had to never apply there. She switched her major from education to psychology, which felt safer, less biting, she said. Years later, she drove by the building. It was now a vape shop. Probably less chaotic, definitely less dangerous. And if you're wondering what happened to Kevin the Biter, he's probably the CEO of something by now or ruling a small jungle tribe somewhere. And that was it. So the moral of the story, she says, if a job promises a low child-to-staff ratio, get it in writing. And if anyone ever tells you a kid will poop out a Lego, run. Because some summer jobs are just straight from the underworld.
That's right.
Could you flippin' imagine?
Now, was there somebody there when she left? She didn't just leave those kids there by themselves, right?
There had to have been like when their shift was over. Because that was my first question too. Does she just peace out on these kids?
Deuces, lock the door. That's something you go to jail for.
Exactly. I just couldn't imagine like.
Oh yeah.
Like I was thinking like, what were the parents thinking? Like there's one person with 27 freaking toddlers running wild. and like I pictured the people around this fire out there going, fire, fire, fire,
fire, fire, fire.
Yeah, exactly. Like Beavis and Butthead.
Yep. Oh, did you ever see that one video on TikTok where this mom was like running like 10 minutes late to go pick her kid up from daycare, and they had already turned off all the lights in the building, locked the doors, and she can see this little scared little kid in the dark. Like there was like a kind of like a little lobby. She could see it through the glass door. She was on the outside, couldn't get in. They had locked her kid in, just left her there, didn't know that she was there. And so she had to call the police to come break in so she can get to her kid.
Oh my God.
That's kind of the vibe I was getting from the story.
Was it any chance that was Ron and Tammy who were running that place?
Ron and Tammy. A little Parks and Rec right there for you.
Yeah, exactly what I thought about. But anyhow, that's my final story. You can see why I was laughing when I was reading this. I mean, I want somebody to make a movie out of this, like a little TV series. I mean, I'd watch it and laugh. But so when you did the Dead Eye Ring Around the Rosie, oh my gosh! If anybody's listening to that, you need to come back and watch it as Billy did it, because that's what I imagined: this weird kid just staring at her, singing "Ring Around the Rosie" nonstop.
Kids are so strange, man. Kids.
But you know what? At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they're just gonna poop that Lego out of their ear. I mean,
out of their ear,
right out of their ear. So
it makes sense scientifically.
Scientifically, it totally makes all the sense in the world. It totally checks out. Maybe run that through with Michelle and see what she says.
Exactly.
And see if we're wrong on that. Well, anyhow, I hope you guys had fun with this episode. It was disturbing, kind of like a little bit of peace, like thinking about the people at the hospital. And just pure chaos. People in portalettes and these jobs and beef knuckles and human soup and all the things. So
coming to our store near you.
Yeah, coming to store near you. Billy kills it on the social media, so go join him. Maybe share some of your worst summer jobs from hell. We would love to hear them. If you want to hear some of ours, go back to our episode where we talk about our top worst 5 jobs ever. We have some jobs in there that were horrible. But anyhow, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we can't wait to see you again next time for another amazing episode of All the Everything Podcast. I hope you guys have a great week.
Bye, y'all.